Wow. It's live now.
Oh well, haven't we? No, never mind. Here we are. Oh dear. Well, welcome on the show. Apparently, we were not alive. We went dead. Now we are alive. We've spoken about Heidi. That Heidi is taking time off. She's not here. I'm congratulating Liz for
Yeah.
her new appointment. That she's now in the New South Wales. And Liz was telling us how she's driven for 10 hours thereabout to get to her location. But she's loving it. She's loving it. And
Yeah.
that she's glowing and she's happy and she's radiant. In New South Wales, isn't it, Liz?
It's at the border here between it's in between New South Wales and Melbourne regional. So
So did you go through Echuca or did you go through Wagga Wagga?
no, they both on the other side though. Echuca, I went to Echuca because of the working with children. The council is there. The New South Wales
Oh, so
council
it's
is
that side. You're not
yes.
far from Debbie. You must find Debbie.
Oh
Debbie,
really?
yeah, that's Debbie's local government then. But
Oh okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that she'll find you. Don't worry. I'm sure she'll watch you, and then she'll find you. But so I was trying to share our experience in the Philippines,
Yeah,
right?
about the phone.
So our phone was dropped in the cab that the hotel got for us. They call
Yeah.
Grab. We've talked a little bit last week about our experience in Philippines, but in that short time, like you never believe how much things we saw, how much things happened. Like, really? It's as if we've never traveled before. But anyway, the phone dropped in the car, and then we rang the hotel straight away when we got at the airport.
Yeah.
And they said, all right, would have rang, they lodged a complaint to the company, the Grab company. They returned to us and said they found it. The drivers lodged it. But they were not able to contact the driver. That's what shocked me. For 3 hours, we were there waiting, and
Mm.
they weren't able to contact the driver until we flew out. But before we went, we went to the airport police and
Yeah.
told police is like, okay, do you have the number? We gave the number. They were able to find the driver on Facebook, but it wasn't answering his phone. It wasn't. I'm like, what sort of company is that? Like, if that happened in Australia in Uber, you would definitely get your phone immediately because it's a company. You didn't go to the roadside taxi.
Yeah.
Did you know? So the police officer is like, give me your Facebook account so I can communicate with you via Facebook. Like, police officer. Anyway, I'm like, we need this phone. This is my Facebook account, but that's a bit strange. This is my number. We left anyway, we came and they were communicating with our hotel. The hotel says, sorry, we still haven't been able to recover your phone. We communicated with the driver. The driver wants your Facebook account to talk to you on your Facebook. I'm like, why does the driver need to talk to me on Facebook?
Yeah.
You find the phone, return it to the office, or,
Exactly.
or return it to the hotel
To
where
the
you.
hotel.
Till now, the driver still wanted to talk to me on Facebook. We ordered food. We ordered food also from this Grab. One food came
Yeah.
and the other did not come till today. They dropped one to our hotel, they dropped the other food to another hotel. It's been crazy. I don't know what's
Wow.
happening. But that being said, the environment is fine, the people are sort of fine, and I think that's what got to this today's topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's naivety wrong? If you're a person that is naive, you wrong? Are you silly? You normal? Is it part of because in 1 week, I do often say this, in 1 week I've grown. Like, I have to catch myself and say, tell me, stop growing. Like,
Mm.
you're growing too quickly. But
Yeah.
that is been our experience. So we're still expecting. So if you know anybody in the Grab, office in the Philippines. They need to release our phone because this is not a good representative or representation of the
Yeah.
at all. But
But
yeah,
funny, why would they want to speak to you on Facebook?
on Facebook, even the driver on Facebook, the airport authority on Facebook, the
That's
police officer
interesting.
on Facebook. It's really strange. What if I don't have Facebook? It's not everybody
Yeah.
that's on Facebook. But I've put a lot of review at the hotel because the hotel people got us the Uber, the Grab. They should
Yeah.
be able to retrieve. Is this how your system works? And now that we were trying to introduce, anyway, people to buy an apartment or condominium that is there. I don't know if people want to buy that condominium there, but it's good. So you don't need to live there. You can buy it and rent it out. It's a good view, um, clean environment, fantastic location. We will show that.
Mm,
Yeah, beautiful. We'll show that on the next, next episode or something. We'll try and show.
exactly.
So if somebody wants, at least if you want to go, since you like adventure, buy your property in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Now I know how it works and how you can survive in Philippines. You don't need to be naive. That's all.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
you will survive. But that's been my story. We go on a quick break and then we'll come back to today's topic. And I think my experience also has inspired. It's been inspired by this topic. We'll be back. Welcome on this week edition of Hanging Out with Temi, and I've got Miss Greatness with me. Wow, Liz, I can't get over your look. It's like you're just this is too much. I
Come
need
on.
truthfully. It's I hope somebody else sees it and they can confirm what I'm saying. Amazing,
Yeah. I'm
amazing.
relaxed. It's good.
Wow, no stress. It's good to
Yeah.
relocate and it's good to change your environment sometimes. I change the environment of my room sometimes.
I know
And
you like change.
I, I'm not changing, I'm depressed, sort of. I
Yeah.
really like changes. But it's been amazing. Let us talk about this naivety thing.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, for can I say I've always loved to be I've always known that I'm naive. And I've always been comfortable in my naivety, if you know what I mean. I've been comfortable because I think it's been serving me that the less you know, the less harm it does to you.
Yeah.
But there's a school of thought that think otherwise. Naivety that is silly is you are unsophisticated. The definition is true. It's truly, really, really bad. And like, whoa. I mean, the definition of naivety is lack of wisdom or judgment, lack of experience, like I said, unsophisticated. I think Liz is dropped out there. You don't want to have all these this definition associated with you. You know, Miss Greatness, you just
Yeah.
dropped out there.
Yay. I saw that.
Yeah. So did you hear lack of wisdom,
Yeah.
lack of good judgment, lack of experience, unsophisticated, like really bush. I don't know. The definition was really bad. So I want to talk about this to reconsider.
Yeah.
Is naivety, is it totally bad or what? Do you consider yourself naive like I am? Or what do you
Um from my perspective, Tammy, naivety is not you are a person is not naive entirely
Good,
in their totality.
good.
I cannot term you naive um, in every aspect of your life. You are naive in a particular thing. You
Wow.
could be naive about your rights in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
but you could be, so excellent and knowledgeable and confident about, you know, maybe finding your way in the country.
Mm,
As much as you are naive about your rights, you know, if you want to go somewhere, you'd find your way, you'd get there, and you'd
mm,
go get what you're after.
mm. It's true.
So you are naive about a particular aspect or particular thing or particular type of people, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true because I looked at myself, and sometimes that I think I'm naive, I actually know sometimes that I'm naive. Sometimes I absolutely don't know because I haven't. There's a discourse that says when a child is being protected all her life, not experiencing life, then they can be naive, but they're at risk of themselves. So what you're saying is right because even though I've been covered and protected, all my life, but then I have exposure to some things that taught me street
Yeah,
smart as well. And I also thought uh my religion made me to be a bit unconscious. And
yeah,
I'm really unconscious in some area because you want to be good. The Bible tells you to be loving, to be caring, but then I think sometimes I mix that loving and caring trusting trusting. So they're different things, and it's because of lack of knowledge then that I will trust. Like you can't be naive when you come to business ventures, right?
yeah,
You can't be naive, but I know that at a time, I don't know, I've said this on the show before that I was naive. I went to a business venture with someone that seems to be a man of God, so to say. And we were about three man of God, three pastors in this business. So I don't see any reason why I should go and check their working with the children, for example, or why I should go and check their insolvency or bankruptcy. I didn't check all that, and then
yeah,
discovered that somebody that I put at the management level forefront is actually bankrupt, and you cannot be a manager if you're bankrupt in Australia. At least 5 years into your bankruptcy, you cannot be a manager. But I didn't do that. I discovered I was very naive. Also, this is to teach some people an experience that even it doesn't matter who or how you met them. I
yeah,
got I got into a lease agreement for 5 years. I hardly ever go to the office. I put this person who is the manager in charge. They just come to my office in another suburb to give a report and we have meetings, but I don't go there to check. I trust you do the right thing. But he did absolutely the wrong thing. He actually changed the bank account of the company to his account. So the money that's supposed to go to the account goes to his personal account. Very, very bad. And this was messy. I got a lawyer involved and all that. That is extreme naivety. So bad. So
yeah,
this, but when this happened to people, Liz, what they tend to do is now to be guarded, to be extremely careful and not trusting. But if you do that, there's an adage that says when you close your eyes for bad person to go, good people will go too. You will still have your eyes shut. You know what I mean? While you're wanting bad people to go. So then you get into these people. Do you trust? Do you not trust? Do you But I've come to conclusion that if you want to get into a business venture with anybody, it's not a matter of trusting, it's about expressing the integrity of the contract from the start and
mm,
how it's going to go. So that binds us, and that is, even though we have something a little bit, but yeah, so you don't become unconscious to how things are going in your area for being naive. And I also like what you said that in some areas you might be naive but some areas you are not naive.
Yeah. It's lack of knowledge. It's lack of wisdom. So in the one area you may have, knowledge. You could be knowledgeable about something, but in the other area you may lack the knowledge. You may lack the experience, and that makes you naive. That makes you trusting because you come into business with people who seem to or who present themselves as having a little bit more knowledge about you or more experience about you in this. So now you trust, and that makes you naive. That makes you a target. These people now discover, oh, okay, she's in our pocket.
Wow.
So now they take advantage of you
Wow.
just because you've put your trust in them, since they presented themselves as knowledgeable. They've got a little bit more knowledge than you have, or a little bit more experience than you have.
And
So
integrity.
automatically you moved over to the level of trusting, and that's where your naivety crept through. You trusted these people.
Wow.
But that does not make you naive in so many other areas. You were vigilant in some of the other areas. As a matter of fact, over time, you discovered what's happening here.
Yeah. And that's, I want to go to that area of discovery. You know,
Yeah.
let's go on a quick break. We'll be back. Welcome back on the show. We're still talking about naivety. If it's wrong, silly, normal path of growth. I like what you said when you say you discover. And I realize that discovery is continuous. Discovery is not something that you discover today and that is it, you know? So you discover something today and then you discover something tomorrow and you discover something. And I think though, people of our generation, we discover a lot slowly and in stages like this. But people of this generation, they are so conversant, they are so knowledgeable, and I've come to terms with that they are extremely wise. And that is why, maybe not wise, but they have knowledge. Not to say they're not wise, but they have a lot of knowledge. Something, for example, I'll be talking to the youth about relationship, and they will come to me to say, when somebody show you who they are at first, believe them. But people like us in our times, at least, will give grace, will give, let's grow together, compassion. They don't give that. And we always thought that was bad, but I think that was not bad. I don't think it's bad, actually. I think they smart. Because what you, like I said, you keep, for me, for example, I keep evolving, I keep growing, I keep discovering, little by little, discovering things that I'm supposed to have discovered even when I was in my 20s. I just discovered. So I was talking to a boy before and I said, whatever you see in a girl that makes you love this girl and you want to marry, you have to think deeply, because you guys are vast, you have access to technology. You have to think if that is going to sustain the relationship, because what you know of this person in 2 years into your marriage is not what you know in 5 years of your marriage. And people evolve, people change. Are you able to withstand that? Let me say it in a practical language. I marry someone that travels light, right? I know he says, I want to try. It's always travel light. And I've always admired traveling light. And I'll make fun of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to be. I wasn't upset. I want to be like that. But I discovered that it's hard for me to actually go light because my makeup kit is about 3 kilos. That if I have 3 kilos in my hand luggage, I'm not traveling light. And then when I travel, I'm the one that sees snacks for David, snacks for something. So I will pick little things. Then I keep adding extra luggage into my luggage, and then I suffer. But I always take it like, okay, he wants to travel, like I'll just take my luggage. But these days, I think that traveling light is not working for me anymore. Like seriously, if I have a luggage, I have a luggage. I try to to travel light, but my light is still a bit heavy, and you still need to help. And then I'm like, what is this? What you need to help? Like I can't care if you travel light or travel. This is me evolving, but I've taken this for how many years? Do you know what I mean? Then now I'm evolving to say maybe I don't like it anymore. And then I looked into it. I think I'm right. I think most women will not take it as well. Most women, maybe people like you will have realized this like 10 years ago that no, when we're traveling and have this luggage, even though you want to travel light, you have to carry it. I believe now that all this time that I'm taking, am I being naive or whatever? Now that I'm waking up because there's no way I'm going to be light. No way. My light is still heavy. But is it my problem? Or should I not take my makeup? That's the kind of, I'm thinking, have I been naive? I've been naive about a few things, which I will discuss. But that's one of them.
Yeah. I I think you I think
Contented?
you probably contented, and you did not want to be a bother, in the
Oh,
sense that these are my things, and you are traveling light, so I understand that, therefore I will take care of my
that's it.
things.
Yeah, that's it.
So you did not want to um bother is not necessarily the word that I'm inconvenience. That's the word I'm after. You did not want to inconvenience him with your things,
Yeah.
considering that you were told I travel light.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
now you arrived at that place where you want to negotiate that lightness. How can you meet me also halfway? You've arrived at that place where you want to negotiate, because now you need support with what you are carrying,
Mhm.
and you've got somebody together with you there whom
Yeah.
you can negotiate with and ask, okay, so you want light, I've got 17Ks that I'm sitting here with, how much can you take in order to continue to be light? Is
Oh,
it five?
heavy.
Is it
Mhm.
5? Is it 8? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that some of what you have can equally go to him, and both the two of you, he's still light according to him, and you got the help you needed.
Mhm.
And that's the um growth that came into, that you stepped into, that
Yeah.
you saw your partner for support in this area as well. He not that he's not been of support, he is of support in so many other areas, but all of a sudden you've realized, but he can also help me in this area.
Yeah.
So now you want to make use of his availability in that area, and what you are doing is something you've done long ago in so many other areas. Can you help me here? Can you
Yeah.
help me there? So all you're doing is asking for help in this area as well,
Yeah.
and that comes with the awareness that you gain, the knowledge that you gain, the experience that you gain. You got exposed, you probably saw something, or you just arrived at that place where you realized he can help me, even in this aspect as well, you know.
It's funny that you said maybe you saw something, and that came to me as being you being naive. You saw something, now you wake up. But I think it's better to wake up than to sleep forever. And if you need help, you need help, Ninja.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you do. You need help.
All
And
right.
maybe also on the other hand, back then you were strong.
Ah,
Now,
I'm
you
old.
know,
Mm. That's
not
very true.
definitely old, but I mean, you could do with some support. You could do with some help.
Yeah,
Back then you didn't need that. You could
yeah.
carry all you want, and you would still walk and get there and still have all the energy. Now you also need that extra hand, and you have the hand.
And you have the end. That's true. Let's go on a quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back on the show. We're still talking about is naivety wrong, silly, normal path of growth, path of growing or path of growth. But anyway, I was gonna. That was a good one. Did you see something that was that is saying something to me? And that I'm whole.
Yeah.
Everything you said is true. I'm old, getting older, and then I saw something, and I thought, as a lady, you need to do something about this your issue. Also, I want to talk about people equating positivity as being naive. You see, a lot of times when you are a very positive person and you're not stern or mean or nasty, people think you're
Mm-hmm.
naive, which I think, like you said, sometimes you're in some area you're switched on, some area you might be naive, which could be due to your upbringing, your religion, your location, your state and stage in life. You could be naive, but it's not that you are absolutely naive. And that part of me, I don't think I want to change being positive. I
You
cannot.
you can be naive, but not ignorant.
Yeah, true.
I think that's probably what you want to say.
I
You
think
you
that
you,
is
you can be
probably,
naive, but it's not that you are ignorant. You
yeah,
you could know what's going on and you can see what people are doing, but
yeah.
you're saying, I'm gonna take my time before I get into that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I discovered that a lot of times that people do things, the things self-resolve, like you somebody might want to cheat me, and I know that you want to cheat me. For example, you want to give me something that is $100 and you tell me it's 200, and I know it's 200, it's 100. You want to cheat.
Mm,
I like, so this is how much you bought it. You're sure? But I'm thinking, no, it's not. Anyway, you want to sell it, and at the end of the day, something happened to you that you want to rip me off, and then you instead of ripping me off under, you even lost $1,000. See, God has justified me. The fight is being fought for me. I'm not wishing them bad, but I've seen this a
yeah,
lot of times that things happen. So a lot of time I'm looking, I'm like, don't worry, if God is in it, it will justify. And it does.
yeah.
So I use this mechanism a lot of times, and I'm also very
Hmm.
forgiving, right? Very forgiving, because least you might do something now to me that pains me like maybe 10 degrees. Maybe you will do something that is 40. But if I start to fight at 10 and then you pay me another 20, and I will become a nasty person, and I don't want to be a confrontational person. So I forgive, I let go, I let grace. But how you could do this, but people that are in my life might not in my life, people that do this to me, or maybe acquaintances, they might think, oh, she doesn't know, she's naive. But you're right, Liz. I know, I'm very observant in a lot of areas, and I know that you're doing something not nice to me, you're intentionally cheating me, but I'm waiting for God to do the justice, to be the
Yeah.
judge.
You know what? I want to read this scripture, which is very, very relevant in this instance. In
Mhm.
Matthew 10:16, it says, I am sending you out like sheep among wolves.
Oof, yes.
Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as
That's good.
doves.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you don't see, it doesn't mean you are not aware of what's going on,
Hmm.
but you are also taking your time to make your case.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you come across as innocent as a dove and people think I can take advantage of this innocence, you can allow them to do what they think they are doing,
Mhm.
but eventually you will get back,
Yeah.
and let them know that you've always been aware.
Yeah.
You knew what's happening,
Yeah.
and you're gonna set your boundary,
Hmm.
and from
Definitely.
then onwards they will know exactly where they stand with you.
Definitely. I like that. I like to be kind, but I'm not weak. And also, Liz, I think naivety too is very broad. I mean, it's people's opinion sometimes, and sometimes it's your problem, and you know. So it's good to
Yeah.
be knowing. Now, I look at the good that people have done. So, people, like we were still discussing this recently, you've done so much good to me, but then you did this one bad. A lot of times I just overlook it. So I'm thinking you probably have an issue with yourself because you already told me many times you like me, you care for me, you do something. So if you do one bad thing, I overlook it. But when I was discussing this, there's a guy that says he likes me so much, but every time he does he does every now and then he does something silly, and you say, "Mama, I love you, Mama, I love you," but you do something silly, and people will tell me, "Why does he keep doing this to you? He kept ripping you off." But he will come to my house and give me something like expensive perfume, and you don't even see that. But then he's doing this. I'm like, this guy's got a problem. It's not me. He probably genuinely loves me, but he has a problem. You know what I mean? Like he's probably he's a bit greedy. And everybody knows he's greedy. But in a lot of ways is good to me. So he might think I'm naive. But I, like you said, but I know everything that he's doing. But I pray for him because I think he has a problem. Because there's this
Mm.
completing thing. He really thinks if he tells people, says, Mama is the best for me, Mama did this for me, Mama did, but then you will try to rip me off. So I look at that, I'm like, I just feel sorry for him and I pray for him. But he might
Mm.
think I'm naive, but I'm not naive at all. So
Yeah.
do I need to let him know that I'm not naive at some stage?
Um, you know what? In some instances, it's worth addressing the elephant in the room, because if you push the elephant under the carpet, eventually,
The
the
whole
carpet
thing
can't
out.
carry it anymore.
Yeah,
So it's worth talking about it. You may be of help. Number one.
yeah.
Number two, you are setting your own boundaries.
Mhm.
So the person can either work along with it, or sometimes when people are discovered, most of the times they don't want to hang around anymore.
Ah, if the bubble is being blown.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if the person is mature, they can accept the boundaries and they can still be there because of what each of you mean to each other, what you mean to him and what he means to you. Maturity can dictate that you move forward according to the boundaries that have been set. And in that, it will even be beautiful because now there's respect coming into play.
You're very true. One time I said nothing. I did not say a word, and he came to me and said, Mama, I've offended you. What can I do to redeem my image? I said nothing. I did not say anything. And he says, what can I do? I need to come and plead. I need to come and do something. Like, what did you do? Do you know what you done? So I smiled and I left. But what you said is true. I think at some stage I need to actually speak because I haven't spoken, but then he panics. What I think I should in saying that because he he, he loses a lot. Like he will lose a lot. I see him lose a lot in the process each time. So this is to tell you that um what you're doing might not be the right thing. So I think after this meeting I have to find a suitable period to be able to help him because he's losing a lot. He's losing
Hmm.
emotionally, he's losing financially, he's losing, and it's quite obvious. And
Yeah.
every So I need to find a time, to help him. Naivety, they said it's very difficult for you to operate or to live in this wild world because the whole world is wild and toxic, and so people are so bad, you know. But my question also is, do you now have to, bring your tentacles everywhere looking for people that are bad, people that are bad? Is it something that you want to, you want to spend your energy on? You know what I mean? Um, there was a case of a guy that was very, very did the wrong thing, so to say, and in the community, and it was wrong. He wronged everybody, he wronged me, and he came and apologized to me. And the community are like, "Oh, don't! Why did you accept his apology? Do whatever, do whatever." I'm like, personally, if somebody offended me and say I'm sorry, I accept it. What else do I have to do? But that doesn't mean we should not follow through with what we need to follow through. Or it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you, Liz, cannot follow through with him with what you want to follow through. But as a person, the wrong thing I forgive. And people might think she's naive. If I'm not naive, what am I supposed to do? To kill him? What am I supposed to do if I'm not, And the issue at hand is not even my own personal problem. It's everybody's problem that you're all crying about. That's why I don't understand. So sometimes people might think, and one of the things that I know is that makes people strong is when you can actually damage somebody, but you restrain yourself from doing evil. You know what I mean? And I think that's not being naive. That's a strength.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
maturity.
that's maturity. You can do anything that you want to do. You have all the resources and everything you want to use, but then you just withdraw and just say, nah, I'm not going to do this. I'll let it go. Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think also from a perspective of leadership, when you are a leader, you serve people.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
this there's a difference between when somebody, an ordinary person, just wants to get back at somebody, and when a leader is also placed in that situation. That's you deal with it completely differently, which is the reason why somebody can come back and ask, why did you forgive him? But you are a leader,
I know.
you
Exactly.
know. two
Mm.
days down the line, you may be placed in a position where you've gonna be preaching for that very person, because maybe they've got a loved one who passed away, or they've got some ordeal. How are you going to step into that place if 3 weeks down the line, 3 years down the line, you did not resolve the issue amicably between the two of you? You can't.
That's so good. You are so good, Liz, because that's exactly what happened. I had
Yeah.
the opportunity to preach to this person, and
Wow.
this person went to church with me, and make up in church. So I think you can foresee that's exactly what happened.
And I mean that's the the assessment that you do. I don't think you necessarily are naive, Timmy. You really have got whatever move you make in perspective. You're very analytical, actually,
Okay.
and you take calculative decisions
Mhm. I do.
because you also have the future in focus. So
Yeah.
what the decision you take today, you take it in such a way that it works for you 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
And not everybody looks at challenges in that way.
Mhm.
Some people take today's decision with, today's what's available for me now to make this decision quickly.
Mhm.
It's the bank. Let me quickly go to the bank and get that loan. You
Yeah.
probably will decide, nah, I'm not taking that loan.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You're right. I'm not.
So that would be, what I think about how you take your decisions. But in saying that, when it comes to naivety, it's entirely an issue of, not having 100% or maybe even 80% knowledge in a particular area that you need to probably take that next step or next decision or whatever. You kind of just lack a little bit in order to make that sound judgment. And the people that are together with you on that panel or whatever in that decision could be a little bit advanced, and this goes to anybody, not only to yourself, including me. And that's where we become trusting. I'm very trusting. I trust very, very easily.
Wow.
And that in all the challenges that I had with people has been my downfall.
Mhm.
I trust and I become the target because I've already crossed the boundary. You are not stranger anymore. I brought you into my space because
Yeah.
I trusted you.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
true.
I don't do due diligence before I bring people in there.
Yeah.
I trust very, very quickly. But I
Yeah.
have learned that the fact that people are smiling with you and they sound like they've got your back does not mean they are on your side.
Wow. Wow. Mm.
That
Wow.
is the lesson that I've learned. you know
Wow.
not to, of course, I don't go around with tentacles, but I take my time before I open my gates.
Yeah.
I can also smile and laugh with you, but I also know my walls are also high.
Yeah. It's your truth. You are very, very right. And people like us that are extremely trusting, sometimes it's very, when you get burnt, it pains you deeply.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's very, very hard to be able to actually deduce if these people are really nasty or not. And growing up, there's an adage also in my place that says, if you are not, whatever anybody present to you is who they are. And so people present to you as if they're very, very caring and they're very into you,
yeah,
and also they're your blood. Blood, we always know that
yeah.
blood is.
Sometimes it's your own people.
How is that on earth? I know that it's there because I'm a victim, not a victim. I experienced that. But till today, I'm still shocked how your own blood can be devilish towards you or could wish you even when you never, ever, ever wish them bad. How is that possible? So a lot of times I just resign to men. They've got serious problems. We just, I always say that this is a serious problem because, Liz, I cannot imagine you wishing me dead
Hmm.
because my death will be a loss to you. I've always, what I mean, like, why would you even do? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
But this is the life we are in, and this is the world, and people are going through different things at different times, and they know why they're doing what they do. But that will not make you to be a nasty person. I don't think you should change your person, your
yeah.
personality, your your real person because of one person. Somebody was
Yeah.
talking to me the other day. I was talking to them. I said, I've got only few friends from Kenya. And I said, but I have a lot of people around me that are Kenyans, but they're not into you. And you know what she said to me? This was funny. And if any Kenya is watching, they can let me know. She said to me, You know what happened is, Tammy, when you offend one Kenya, you offend all Kenyans.
Oh,
That blew my mind. She said, if you offend one Kenyan, you offend all Kenyans. Oh my
oh, okay.
God. Yes. And it's not just you, it's your nation. So if a Nigerian offended a Kenyan, all Nigerians now they've offended Kenyans. I'm like,
Oh,
what? Seriously?
it
That
becomes
was
a national issue.
It is a multinational issue. This is a mind blowing to me. I'm like, wow, is this right? That
Wow,
is
that's interesting.
strange. That's strange. I'm like, what? So now, of course, every nation will offend Kenya. So Kenya must be enemy to all nations now because you will always find a bad egg in every nation. And now to take that on me, I think that is quite unfair. But that's what she said. I don't know.
Mm,
I said, well, Nigerians were not, we're all divided anyway. So we don't do things together. Like even if somebody from the east come to me and said, Liz did something wrong with them. I said, oh, is that right? Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. I'm a friend to Liz. Like, I will be questioning what did you do to Liz for Liz to do that. Like that,
yeah,
that's what we critically analyze the issues, but we don't take issues personally because if you want to think like that, you'll be thinking you hate all the whites because they colonize us. You hate
yeah,
all. How much are you gonna do? But I hope that it will not be the extreme reality of the Kenyans. Yeah, but let's go on a quick break and then we will do finalize today's topic. We'll be back. Welcome back on the show. Just rounding up on this naivety. It took me a while to actually coin it up, but yes, naivety, I think conclusively, at least what we are reaching out to say, and I like the point you pointed out that you might be naive in this area. You might be naive to the law and the rules and regulation of Australia, but that doesn't mean if they throw you into America, you're not going to function fully.
yeah,
But you are in a new place and you're just growing. So it's a process and you're not absolutely. And sometimes people also take your kindness for stupidity. And also, when you are seemingly seen as being naive because you're kind, and then they abuse you, what do they call it? Some neuropathic people will abuse you or something, or some, I don't want to call them names, but some people that have got issues will take advantage of you and abuse you. And then you might want to now put a real guard, but we're saying when you close your eyes, leave a little bit of your eyes open because good people are still coming and good people can still be in that locality as well. And so if you are conversant with yourself, if you are growing, you're evolving, it's growth. They call it that you're not sophisticated, but definition of this sophistication depends on who is defining who you are. But if you catch yourself, like now I woke up to myself to say, listen, I need help and I'm going to
yes,
get this help. And you are looking for the right time to say it. In that time, you might call me, I'm naive in that period. But by the time I come back, you know that I'm not naive after all. I'm growing. And it's good to keep growing, keep learning, keep evolving, rather than just being stagnant. That's what is not good. And can I also say, why in that your growing process, you need to understand what your problems has been. Like for me, like I said, I've been accepting these, travel light, and I've been accepting, but you get to a stage that, I'm older now, I'm tired, I don't want to, I need help, and I've got the help and I'm going to use it. But I'll say it rightly, because part of the problem is my problem. I've accepted it all this time. So I'm not going to turn around now overnight and say, no, I'm not accepting it and fight over it. No, going to find an opportune time where you sit down and discuss about this, and then you resolve it. So not there's nothing like absolutely naivety. And if somebody
Mhm.
is naive today, it doesn't mean they're going to be naive tomorrow.
That's right.
Watch
That's
out.
right. Absolutely. Simply because of the definition, Tammy, it's you're naive because you lack knowledge, you're naive because you lack exposure, you're naive because you lack wisdom. And that's not who you're always gonna be.
Not true.
With this new office where I am, I'm looking at a program that I'll be doing in schools for kids between 8 and 12,
Mhm.
sexuality awareness, program.
Right,
And it's a program that is aimed at providing vocabulary to the kids
right,
to know when they are being violated, so
right,
that they are able to put that in words,
right. Hmm.
because otherwise they are naive,
Hmm.
using the words that we are talking about, because they lack the knowledge, and they lack the experience, and they lack the exposure, so they are naive in that area. And
Right.
against that background, when they are targeted, they don't even know how to put that in words in terms of what happened to them.
Mm.
So by the time the parents go find out, it's 2 years. This thing happened 2 years down the line,
Hmm.
3 years down the line, and they were not able to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely a matter of gaining the knowledge in a
Knowledge.
particular area, gaining the experience in a particular area, and by so doing, you outgrow your naivety in that area.
That's right. Exactly. So means to say whatever it is that you lack knowledge in, seek and ask, and the Lord
Absolutely.
will give you that knowledge. If
Absolutely.
you need to go to school, go to school. If you need to hang out with the girls where they talk awareness, you wake up, baby, because no amount of money will give you wisdom, but to be in the
Yeah.
council of the righteous. But we're gonna have to end the show today. It's been an amazing thing, and even now, I'm not naive in some area. I got an insight in some area. Even to Liz,
That's very good.
fantastic. Thank you for who you are, and we'll always appreciate you.
Thank you, Tammy. It was good having this discussion.
Fantastic. To everyone, we see you again next week, same time, same place, and just get your cup of tea and come here to
Sure.
hang out with you. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.